Paul, first, anything on AJ's status?
Yeah, he won't go today.
And with that, I assume Jesper's coming in?
Correct.
How much of a luxury is that to have a guy not only coming in with his experience, but a guy that was scoring goals for you only as early as last round?
It's important that, fortunately for us, it's not his first time in the playoffs, so he hasn't been sitting for a long time, and he's had some pretty good success when he's come in. And he fits, so he spent time with all of those players. There's nothing new for him, so he can come in and just play.
Right side, first row.
Paul, you got pretty good production from your offensive production from your defensemen during the regular season, but it seems to have gone off in the playoffs. Why do you think that's been, and how important has that been, I guess, to contributing to your depth scoring?
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to create the environment where they could get involved in those things. I don't know is the answer. We haven't changed anything. We try to get them up the ice. You want to be careful when you get into the playoffs. You're seeing a deeper level of offensive talent on the other team, so you got to be a little bit more mindful of how you join the rush. Both Toronto and Carolina are heavy shot blocking teams. They're really good at it, so you're not getting much through from the point. That might be it.
Right side, first row.
Morning, Paul. Wanted to ask you about what Bill Zito was talking about yesterday with the defenseman with Sylvain, and what impact he has on all of them, but especially the guys like Forsling, Kulikov, guys who have kind of jump-started everything down here.
Well, I don't want to set, for me personally, because I never played in the National Hockey League, I felt I needed a player on both ends of the bench, so I've got Tuomo Ruutu up front. And Sylvain, the details of playing defense, I think it's just much better if it comes from a guy who knows all the small things, because that's a lot of playing defenses. The main structure is the easy part, where your stick goes, when to press, all of the small things. I think experience matters, and he has that, and he spent some time coaching. But it's a personality fit as much as anything else. He is very detailed, very patient, a great teacher, and he has this easy personality about him. Doesn't mean he's soft. He just has an easy connection to all of those. He can talk to them like a colleague. He can, and they respect that. We've got some now veteran players on the blue line that don't need a lot of motivation. They're very self-driven, so it's not on the coach to get them to work harder. So they just have a mutual respect. He won a cup as a player. He understands what it's like to play 2 months into a playoff grind for a defenseman, what's reasonable, what's not. I don't really spend much time thinking about that end of the bench in terms of the match. He's got it figured out. So that for me is the tell. I just leave him, just don't mess anything up.
Take three more for Coach. Right side, third row, Luke. Or, excuse me, right side, second row.
Sorry. Paul, last year after Game 7 on the ice, some players told me that the message in the locker room was freedom, and then in the parade you yelled it at the players. How do you settle on those pregame messages, and have you settled on one for tonight?
I try to move around them as much as I can. That came up from after Game 6. I stayed here and did the game before I left. I almost will never do the game after the game. You're too emotional and you don't see things right, but we just weren't moving. I thought Game 5 that we lost at home was the best game that we played the entire playoffs. We were fantastic in that game. And I thought we started to tighten a little bit in Game 6, and I just didn't want that. So that wasn't the theme all year. It's just what the video looked like. We looked a little tight, and I just thought the team had earned the right to play with freedom. So it was a 3-day. I walk around the room, try to get a feel for what I think they need, and then at some point the words come.
Right side, third row.
Paul, how much more confident are you in Anton Lundell's abilities as a shutdown center this year compared to last year? How's he grown in that regard?
Well, it started 2 years ago, and it started in the Toronto series, Series 2 for us 2 seasons ago. We got the lead, but at that time he's also playing with Sam Reinhart, so it's Luostarinen and Lundell and Reinhart. And as soon as we got the lead on a team, they would take their elite line, pull them off Barkov and Bennett, and run them on Lundell. And there wasn't much we could do about it on the road, and they were good. So they kind of went into last year, and stopped worrying about that match, and it's allowed us not to be a hard match team. There are nights that he heats up on the faceoffs that you actually want him left side on the D-zone draw. When Reinhart was there, we just start running him on all the D-zone draws because we had left and right-handed centermen. And I think they call him a mini Barkov. There's a reason for that. They view the game the same way. There's a defensive mindset first, but we kind of felt with his first year, I think he scored 18 goals. There was more offense there to be had. It's just he wouldn't sacrifice the defensive game for the offense. And then we saw it during the year, but then when Brad came, it's different now. They generate a little differently. So we've got an awful lot. This guy's a really good, he's not even young anymore. We don't view him as young. He's a good center iceman.
Last one, second row.
Hey, Paul, congratulations on making it to another Stanley Cup final.
Thank you.
Last year, after winning the Cup, you had a message for Winnipeg Jets fans and the team. You were saying that your hope is that the Jets get to the Stanley Cup. They didn't quite make it this year. I'm just wondering if you have any words for the Jets, their fans, and what you think they need to do to get over the hump.
Yeah, get rid of their last coach was the right thing to do because they won a President's Trophy. I cheer for three teams, basically. I cheer for the Vancouver Canucks because of Jim Rutherford. I cheer for the Winnipeg Jets because of Winnipeg, and I was cheering for the Dallas Stars for Pete DeBoer. Right? If you're you put everything into this, and you're not cheering for the other team. You're cheering for your own team. But if you're going to lose, you want to lose to one of those three groups. That's kind of the idea. Now, my cheering for the team hasn't done them much good, it seems. But they've just got the right story in Winnipeg for the National Hockey League and what's right about the game. You saw it in the connection with what Mark Scheifele did to play in that game, the connection to his brothers. But that's not just a one-off. That starts at the top of that organization. And it fits very well with the fan base there. And they won the President's Trophy. And I think the Florida Panthers did a couple years before they got to the final. So I think they're right there.